Building Better Minds with Rob Cardwell.
Well, documenting history.
Yeah, a local student is using his camera to capture monumental moments here in Richmond. Here's this week's Building Better Minds.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
It's one thing to watch the social justice movements on TV or read about them online. It's another to experience them firsthand.
This one's my favorite, just because of the lighting and the shirts and just the depth.
Christian Johnson, a senior at Richmond St. Christopher's School, wanted to know more.
Just watching the protests on the news, I told my mom that it's something that I felt like I needed to do.
Even in some of the most tense situations, Christian spent days in Richmond this summer documenting what he saw with his camera.
They're not just pictures to make the protests look violent, pictures to make the protests look as peaceful as possible. They're just raw pictures of what was actually happening.
He came back after the summer, first day of school, and was really excited to show me these pictures that he had taken at the protest. And he just had showed me one on his phone, one that has an American flag, and it was just striking.
I like this one a lot because it's there's a white fist and there's a black fist, and then you can see the monument in the back.
Each one was sort of better than the last, and I just said we have to put this up. We have to show everybody.
St. Christopher's dedicated a hallway to Christian's photography and a testimonial of his time downtown. Christian hopes that fellow students and others who see the pictures will understand one thing.
First and foremost, I hope that people, when they see the pictures, they'll realize that it wasn't just riots and a lot of violent people with ill intents, that it's more people really protesting peacefully who just want change in the country.
Powerful pictures, capturing moments, and building better minds.
Somebody's gonna go over there.
I'll do it.
Richmond children's book author Mark Lowen loves to host play dates for his daughter. And today, the fun involves a coloring book.
Can we start coloring?
Got, adventurers, people being adventurous, celebrating birthdays.
Only this is a coloring book he created.
One day I was looking for coloring books and I wanted something positive, something that was about families, and there was nothing at all that had families like ours.
Eyes are done.
According to U.S. Census data, 66% of female same-sex couples and 44% of male same-sex couples live with children. Fewer than half of kids younger than 18 are living in a home with two married heterosexual parents in their first marriage. So two moms and two dads can reference step-parents as well.
The image of one mom, one dad, one son, one daughter, one cat, one dog is not at all the majority.
Mark came up with the idea for the coloring book after his daughter told him that kids had questions about her living with two dads. He'll be the first to tell you that a coloring book like this might not be for everyone.
I think of two kinds of families that would want a coloring book of LGBT families. Number one, the families that have LGBT family members because they can see themselves. And number two, the families that want their child to be exposed to families that are different of theirs.
Chrissy Mosley's daughter loves it.
It's awesome. I mean, the moment she picked it up, she was excited because she saw she's like, look, Mommy, there's two moms in here, there's two dads.
Parents need to make their kids aware that just love is love, and it can be in any form it wants to be.
This is like ketchup.
Coloring outside the lines in all colors of the rainbow is building better minds.
You're watching TV 99 News. Hello, and welcome to our first newscast of the 2019-2020 school year.
Welcome to the studios of Hanover 99.
So I think that we will turn the floor over to these guys.
Where student interns have the opportunity to work in a real TV station.
This is much more of a journalistic project than we've done.
But this time, programming and production coordinator Brian Capaldo had a lesson he really wanted his students to get: news literacy.
In this day and age, it's so very important that we all become better consumers of media. There's no question about it. And a class like this is a great opportunity to introduce these kids to that topic.
It seems like you guys are going to work to talk to a student. That would be great.
To help, CBS6 producer James Jobs is part of a team leading a program from the News Literacy Project and EW Scripps, CBS6's parent company. The News Literacy Project provides educators with tools and resources to teach their students how to navigate today's complex information landscape, learn to judge the credibility of information for themselves, and become engaged and informed participants in our democracy.
Accuracy, unbiased reporting is so critical to our industry and the communities we serve, but what's beautiful is that News Literacy Week is focusing on those next journalists and really sharing that there's no substitute for fairness and for objectivity.
And I think it's really easy to just believe whatever you see, but it's not always the case.
Student Ruthie Weeks says they found a lot of misinformation and disinformation in researching stories.
So I think it's really important that lots of teenagers or even adults are capable of looking into different news sources and really understanding what they're talking about. I understand you do research on brain behavior and stress.
For more than a week, CBS6 advised these students on a story they produced themselves that aired during our Monday newscasts.
Teen depression rose 52% from 2005 to 2017.
They weeded through information they found online about teenagers, mental health, and the stigmas surrounding it. It included fact-checking, subject matter expert interviews, and good old-fashioned research.
There's no question about it. The way that we all get our media is so completely different than when we were kids. Now everything is in the palm of your hand. But you also don't really know the validity of some of that information.
Building news literacy is building better minds. This is what Chef Sarah Jurowitz's classroom usually looks like. Her baking and pastry arts class takes juniors and seniors from all 10 Chesterfield high schools in a 2-year program.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Sarah, Chef Jay as my students call me. However, today we're going to do something a little different. You're actually in my home.
Schools shut down, but interest in her recipes opened up for a lot of people.
They all started going, hey, do you have a recipe for this? Do you have a recipe for that? I would love to do some cookies. My grandchildren were kind of fretting. We're a little nervous. We would love to be able to bake something.
First things first is our liquids.
Sarah was posting cooking videos on her Google Classroom page for her students.
We're real baking, right? I'm not going to edit this out.
They started watching. Others did too, cooking and baking along. And it just blossomed from there, now on Facebook and YouTube.
I got my husband behind my cell phone, and we set up the space of my kitchen just like I would do a demo in my classroom. And after it got viewed a little over 500 times, I thought, okay, this might actually be what I'm going to do.
Sarah says the greatest part of her job is using food to teach history through food anthropology. Students are surprised to learn that the spice trade literally created countries.
So again, that's 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/3 cup of regular sugar.
She'll also tell you baking is about science, physics, chemistry, and especially math.
We get to teach mathematics. I mean, through bread baking, everyone always asks me, like, oh, we're never going to use algebra. When are we ever going to use algebra? In bread baking, oddly enough, I get to be one of those teachers who's like, well, let me tell you.
Building interest in cooking is a delicious way to build better minds.
Hello, boys and girls, I'm here to say that we miss you every day.
Spring Run Elementary School teacher Aubrey Smalls misses his students. But he's still teaching them.
Something that they can do at home. You don't have to really have anything, just use your cups, whatever you have in your cabinet.
When the pandemic sent kids home, he started sending them Twitter videos like this one.
Smalls here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pan flute.
His dad played the trumpet and passed down a love of music when Mr. Smalls was just 6 years old. That's when he started playing the saxophone.
The note's a little bit higher. Now this is the one where it's not cut.
From straws to water-filled glasses.
Sometimes you don't really know how much of an impact is happening until later on, where they may come and ask you about something or say, hey, Mr. Smalls, I got this my ukulele and I've been learning or teaching myself how to play it. So it does make you smile when you see that happen.
You can see the lessons are working. Teachers are learning new ways of teaching these days. Mr. Smalls seems to have found just the right note for his students.
We
That's Building Better Minds.
We miss you, we miss you.